We are in the Cove AML area, site NA 316. We're looking at an area where we did some reclamation. The geology in this area is reddish sandstone material, and then just on top of it, the whitish tan material is the salt wash member. For the mine sites in Cove, they're at the edge of the mesas, so the majority of them are just underground mine portals. Our initial reclamation was to backfill the portals and then pull up as much mine waste as we could. Utilizing an excavator, the contractor did what we call a cut and fill to pull the mine waste up and address the portals and the high walls. For the Cove area, anything that is over the ledge down into the canyons is what we consider inaccessible mine waste. So once we do our selective handling with whatever Class C material equipment can reach, we do utilize the overburden material. In the background, we have some earthen material that we brought from the top and covered the bench area and the portal locations. And then we contour it. We also install some drainage diversions, upgrade it, and depending on the soil conditions, we do implement some re-veg. But as you can see in these areas, we do have natural vegetation coming in. We identified over 230 mine sites throughout the mesas, and we are coming back and doing some further assessments on the mine sites under our maintenance and surveillance plan, and depending on the extent of erosion or any subsidence problems, we may come in and do further maintenance work. We're also looking at a partnership with the Navajo Forestry Department and maybe planting some tree seedlings. If we do, they would most likely be ponderosa pine trees. Stabilization in terms of re-veg or the pine trees are more to provide cover to the soils and also to blend the areas in so that they're not just bare spots. If you're looking across a canyon at these mine sites, you can see that they're pretty bare. They do have vegetation on it, but from a wide perspective, they look bare, and the pine trees would just blend the areas in. You see where the small rock ledge coming out with the trees there?
Yeah.
That's about the level that the mines were. Okay. Where it's smooth here, there's some back in there. And just around that corner where the trees are, it's smooth again, and there was a couple that were in there. We're looking at a small underground mine opening. This is a small portal. The opening was probably only 4 feet by 5 feet high. Some of the openings in the Cove area were as large as a 10 by 10 opening, and there's some that actually go through the mesas, so easily over 2,000 feet in linear length. But for this portal we're looking at, one of our methods of closure is to do what we call a polyurethane foam closure, and then on the exterior we'll use the native sandstone and build a rock matrix to blend the mine opening in with the natural terrain.
Back here we're looking at about 130 microar exposure rate, and then we get closer to the source. This is just a natural ore outcrop. The yellow is discoloration from the oxide. It's the ore that when it reaches the surface and it gets some air onto it. And right now we're over 500 microar. And so I had to change scale, which is why the needle's gone back down. And the contact reading is around, the highest being about 650 microar. Again, when the ore reaches the surface and mixes with the oxygen, that's where that discoloration comes from. And that the oxide is the yellowish color on the outside of the vein. So the outcrop probably just right in here, and where they actually did the mining is probably a bigger seam. So we're looking at about
light radiation.
320 at 1 meter. During our AML projects, if we have any areas that exceed 1,000 microar, what we'll have the contractor do is we'll implement their personnel to where they're working in rotation in shifts in 4 hours. So anything above 1,000 microar, they have to work in shifts. That will minimize their exposure to less than the quarterly allowable dose.
When we're doing our National Environmental Policy Act, NEPA requirements, we are looking at fish and wildlife concerns. Whether or not it's up in the mountains or down in the lowlands, we have to be in compliance with it. Some concerns that we look at in the lowlands could be your Mesa Verde cactus or the golden eagles or raptors. Once we get into the mountainous areas, the raptors are a concern again. But for instance, here in Cove, we also had problems with the Mexican spotted owl. Part of our compliance requirements was that we cannot have any activity in the Cove Mountains until after August 30th. So each year, our construction season in Cove basically was starting from September 1st up to whenever the first snowfall, or we were limited due to inclement weather. Each mine feature out here, whether or not it's a portal or a trench or pit, has a unique number. As we went through and prioritized stuff, we started grouping projects.
Oh, okay, so then that's when this became 316?
Yes,
or?
we call it NA-00316. And that's how we document our projects, all our expenditures, to the Office of Surface Mining for our federal requirements. So that unique number tells what we've done out in the field.
And so 316 has how many sites?
316 has probably like 8 portals.
Oh, okay.
But the whole Cove area has over probably 225 sites, 230.